the second I did that, my eye started like, oh, see, this is why you got to watch the YouTube. I'm not even going to tell anybody what we did, but we're laughing. So watch the YouTube. Anyways,
Yes.
Welcome back. Episode 58.
Yes, ma'am.
We're still wearing the same clothes because you know
Sure
what?
are.
We're batching them. We're batching them today. We got topics that are near and dear to the heart, things that we have both went through and experienced, and also, funny enough, came up on a Facebook. It wasn't like a poll, but like a general inquiry about what people want us to talk about. So, moving right along, people pleasing. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
I am so grateful to be free
Fuck yeah.
of people pleasing thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And you can too. Here's how. So I think at some point in everybody's life, there is this stage of like wanting to be liked and accepted. It's called grade school and high school.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But I feel like that's definitely where it shows up for people. And then I feel like if we kind of don't curb or kick those
It'll
thoughts
continue in
and
adulthood.
patterns, it definitely continues into adulthood. And you know what? I kind of feel like it shows up every once in a while for me until I check myself. If like I'm in a group of new people.
Okay.
You know, where I'm like trying to fit in and like, but I also feel like that's attributed to me being a Gemini. I feel like I'm a very like chameleon. Like I just try to like,
ADHD.
yep. Yep.
Where you're just trying to relate, right?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I do that too. And then I'm like, no, don't.
I hiked Everest. I did. Yep, I did.
I go hunting. Oh my God, all the time. Hunting for snacks in the grocery store. Could never shoot at something unless it was trying to kill me. And I even think then I'd be like, guys, stop. I'm like the little red panda.
Though, what's interesting to me is when you phrase it as like people pleasing is, you know, wanting to be accepted.
Yeah.
There's a huge part of me that has always wanted to be different. I don't think that I didn't want to be accepted. I just always wanted to be different. Like I didn't want to be like other people. Right. And
do you feel like that it like counts to like wanting to be special?
I don't know. Maybe. I always just wanted to, it's weird. I wanted to stand out, but I didn't want attention, right? Like I wanted to be different, but I didn't want attention drawn on me because that makes me very uncomfortable.
But then how would people know that you were different if attention wasn't drawn on you?
That's what doesn't make sense, right? Like I'm a
Right.
conundrum. It doesn't make sense. But when I was thinking about
like, idiosyncracy. I don't even know what that word means.
Of complication is what I am.
I am a plethora. Cornucopia, if you will. Smorgasbord.
When I was thinking about like my people pleasing, I was thinking about times where like, for example, also mom, if you're listening, don't take offense to this.
Just shut it off right now.
Where my mom will like give me suggestions
Uh-huh.
and I won't do them right away. And then she gets offended and I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do it. Right.
Yeah.
Like that's people pleasing in the sense of like, I don't want to hear you keep telling me to do something. I just want to get it done and over with. So I'm not doing it to make you happy. I'm doing it to make you leave me alone. But that's still people pleasing, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. Right? Because you're attempting to please their emotions.
Yes.
I don't want to listen to your nagging. So I'm going to I'm going to set that to the side and just do it.
But I have so many clients that will just adapt to the room and try to make everybody happy. You know what I'm not fucking here for? Trying to make everybody happy because it's fucking impossible.
I am
You're
not.
plan a wedding and make a seating chart. I'll tell you what I did. And
Ew.
I didn't like the wedding because they didn't like who they were sitting by. Goodbye.
No, I never
Goodbye.
made a seating chart. I just got married and was like, hey, get in where you fit in. And then I was like, why am I here? Oh, that's weird. I should have left. Should have never went. Just kidding. Oh my God, something is fucking in my eye. I think people pleasing showed up for me of wanting to be, knowing that I didn't come from families that my mom and my dad didn't have a lot of money, and I went to a private school, and so people had money there, and wanting to fit in to be like them, but like I feel like I had to people please in the sense of like my behaviors and things like that, because I didn't feel like I had the cool things to help me fit in. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not, and I want to be very frank and honest, like K through 8, it wasn't like like it wasn't like the Mean Girls, right? It wasn't
fuck,
like
mine
that
was.
at all, right? Well, then, well, thank God, because I did go to school with really great human beings who are
Sure.
still really great human beings to this day. I mean, sure, there was moments where we were all fucking rude to a lot of people, and we could have really just stopped that
Yes.
and not bullied people. But like, it wasn't like people were like, "Oh, Mary's fucking poor." Like nobody said that, but in my mind, that was the internal dialogue that I was telling myself of
Sure.
like, I have to change my behaviors because I don't have the clothes and stuff that get me to fit in. And I don't, at that time, didn't have the body and stuff to get me to fit in. So I was like, okay, I'm just gotta be funny. And I kind of gotta be, friends with everybody and kind of maneuver my way around because that's what's gonna get people to like me. When it's like, I don't need you to like me. Half of you don't even like your damn self. So why am I looking to gain your approval when you don't like you? If you don't like you, how can you like me?
Well, and when you were just talking about that, I was like, I mean, I definitely feel like my entire relationship / marriage, I was constantly people pleasing in the sense of I didn't want to start a fight.
Oh, girl.
So then I just took it,
Hallelujah.
right? Took it in the sense of like my ex-husband was not abusive, but like if there was disagreements, I just internalized it, right?
Yeah.
I just internalized how I felt. I didn't try to talk through things. Whereas now I'm like, no, if something's bothering me, I'm going to let you know because I don't need to hold on to that. Right. I need to express it to let you know, because how is somebody supposed to understand their own behaviors if somebody else isn't letting them know? Right.
Well, and like, how can I request that you change if I'm not telling you what is bothering me? I definitely got to that point in my marriage of just like learned helplessness of like, what's the point? Like we were just joking in the spending one of like, please don't spend money at the please don't spend money at Speedway. $14 later, fucking next week $12 later. Okay, it's just I'm sorry. Sorry
I said anything. Sorry.
We don't need groceries. Just as long as you eat at Speedway, and I'll just fuck off and eat a can of beans for dinner.
Literally.
So 100% I feel like there was moments where it was like, yeah, no, I mean, whatever's better for you, or like mama. But now after having been fucking putting in the fucking work for years and helping people do the same and like taking my own medicine of like when I'm sitting here saying these things to people of like, bitch, also you too, like take your own fucking advice. It definitely feels good to be, for the most part, free of the mentality. I feel like there will always be that human reaction of wanting to be liked or wanting to fit in. But I think that is instinctual, right? And then that's where that, prefrontal cortex comes online and is like, but does that need an emotion? Sure. Like, sure, you want to fit in, but like, is that like necessary? Does it really matter that much?
Well, and at the end of the day, what I always think about too is like, if you're not going to accept me or like me for like who I am at my core and how I speak and how I dress and what, like, I don't want you in my life. I don't need you. I have people in my life. I don't need to add more people if you're just going to judge me for how I live my life.
Exactly. Bye. And I don't owe you or anybody an explanation for how I live my life. If I am being 100% mindful and I'm being aware of like what my actions could potentially do to others, or like being assertive and attempting to see somebody else's side and also my side and coming to that conclusion, I don't need to explain myself to anybody. I don't. I do not. So some top reasons why people please is because they want to fit in. They're not sure of themselves. They're trying to adapt different styles from other people. There is that learned helplessness component, maybe in relationships. Doesn't have to be an intimate one, could be with family or friends or whatever, of like, again, just trying to you feel like you've been rejected or shot down so many times. So you're just sort of like, okay, I'm just going to go along with the flow. Random insecurities that you may have depending on the situation. I mean, there is a plethora of reasons why people want other people to like and accept them. I think at the core, it's because we're really not focusing on self. So Steph and I have written down some steps, more like points, like not necessarily like step one.
No, but like things to be mindful of.
Yes, reminders to be able to hopefully write down somewhere, put it on your bathroom mirror, write something in lipstick, like do something, get it in your face to pay attention to these mindful things that need to be remembered so that we can start to break this habit of people pleasing. And like anything that we talk about that is a habitual thing, whether it's a behavior or spending or whatever it may be, you didn't get here overnight. You are not going to undo this with one like no, I don't want to go out.
Yes.
that one decision isn't going to be like, yeah, that's it. But all it does take is one decision to start working towards that improved version of yourself. So
100%.
number one, remind yourself, be true to yourself instead of trying to fit in. Explore why you're trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Come at yourself instead of coming at yourself with shame, come at yourself with curiosity. Help me, like, journal it out. Help me understand why it is important for me to fit in with this crew. Why is it important for me to have these clothes to fit in? Why, like, what am I searching for? What is the underlying need here that maybe I can pay attention to versus projecting it out onto trying to be what everyone else wants me to be.
Mm-hmm. Number 2, set healthy boundaries. People pleasing can also look like extending yourself in every fucking which way from Sunday. Mm-hmm. Coming from somebody who did that, right? Thinking like, oh, their family, I have to help, or I have to get up and do this, or oh, I owe them something because they helped me. Like, I'm not saying that don't repay somebody for helping you by also helping them, but like, check yourself. Is this something that you can actually physically or emotionally handle right now? If it's not, then you set a boundary, right?
Also, please recognize that I don't do things expecting that somebody's going to do something back for me. So if somebody has that expectation of you, guess what? I didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to that. I do things for other people because I love them. I want to help them.
Yes.
It's something I can do. It's something that's easy for me. It's a random act of kindness or a conscious act of kindness. So I'm doing it for myself. Sure, maybe helping you, but I'm validating myself of like, yes, this is the type of person I want to show up as. Look at me showing up as this person. So if somebody's coming at you of like, well, I did this for you, you should do this for me. First of all, get out of here with all that should. I didn't agree to that. And setting boundaries is where you can love yourself and that other person at a healthy distance.
Yep.
Boundaries aren't here to make anybody comfortable but yourself.
Yep.
After enforced, right? Because when we're setting the boundary, it's still uncomfortable.
Of course.
Stop making excuses. So this, I feel like, can go a lot of different ways, right? Man, I really have an eyelash attacking my eyeball. This can go a lot of different ways, right? This excuses aspect. When in reality, I think what I would like to take away from this reminder, I keep trying to stop myself from saying step. This reminder is that if you can't or don't want to or don't agree with or don't like or don't whatever is being asked of you or requested or wanted or any of those things, you don't have to try to find a way why you can do it, right? You can simply say, no, thank you. I'm not interested. That's not what I'm into. We don't have to make excuses as to, oh, well, I've got to go do this, blah, blah. A simple no will do because that's a reason. Like no is a complete sentence.
Yep. We have an episode on that.
We do. Check it out. I don't know what number it is, but check it out.
It's way early.
Yeah.
Number 4, listen to your inner voice. And when I say that, please be clear as to what is your inner voice and what is your anxiety, right?
Ooh, amen.
Like we talked about the difference between intuition and anxiety. If it is your anxiety talking, it is going to convince you that you need to do those things to make people happy. If it's your inner voice saying, well, like, God, I really don't have the energy to do that. Like, I really don't want to. Listen to that. There's a reason it's telling you that because a boundary needs to be set in that moment.
That is intuition coming up. Everything in this world and our society is designed for you not to listen to your intuition. There is a reason your gut is speaking to you.
Yep. Listen
to it. Spend some time alone. God, if I could have clients understand one MFing thing is the importance of
and
alone.
Power of being alone.
God. The thought process, like the adrenaline, the power you get from that. And like, don't get me wrong, when we were just talking about the spending episode, right? In the very beginning, before I knew how to sit alone with myself, I absolutely would fill that with inappropriate things of like, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to go eat this. I'm going to go blah, blah, blah. I get that. I understand that it takes time to learn to do that. So what we are asking is that you give yourself time to learn how to be alone, learn what you like to do instead of doing what everybody else wants to do.
Please yourself before you're trying to please other people.
you matter more. You can't take care of anybody. You can't pour into anybody. You can't anything without taking care of yourself first. So you can't take care of yourself first if you never give a chance to yourself to be alone, to recognize, what do I like? What do I want to do? What do I want to try?
I need?
What do I need?
Yep. 100%. Number 6, remember that you can't please everybody. It is literally impossible. Somebody's always going to be upset with a decision you make. Oh, well, as long as you're not being an asshole about it, like, oh, well.
Always. Oh, people will always be upset. Here's the thing. You can even admit, hey, that wasn't the best choice. I shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, blah. People are still going to be pissed.
Yes.
People are still going to lose their goddamn minds.
100%.
There's this whole Lunchgate thing going on with RUSD.
That is.
Oh my God. So somebody videotaped a lunch that RUSD gave out. It was like some dried up carrots.
Something gross, probably.
Something else, and like a slice of cheese.
Okay.
There was like nothing, right? I understand. I understand parents being upset. I understand kids went hungry. I get it. RUSD made a post today and was like, you know what? We apologize. There's been food supply shortages, blah, blah, blah. We can still do better, and then they, were like, hashtag where's the beef? Like kind of like not making light of it, but like poking fun at themselves and like admitting fault.
Lost their ever loving minds, right?
Stephanie, the fucking comments.
I can only imagine.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Get over it.
Yes.
Get over it. They apologize. It's in the past. There's nothing that can happen now. What? You can't please anybody. Somebody owning up to something, saying, you know what, we fucked up. We are sorry. And then people are like, you know what? That's not enough.
Yes.
Yes. What is like, understand that you can do everything right. You can do everything that is right in this situation. Somebody is still going to have some type of feeling about it. What you need to understand is you are not in charge of other people's emotions.
Nor are you responsible for them. Like,
no,
not at all.
I'm not. It is not my job to fix your trigger. Nope. It's not my job. Not my job to monitor what you've got going on so I don't set you off. That's your job. That's your job as an adult. And if you don't know how to do that, that's okay. There's professionals for that to help you. Yep. There's a cornucopia.
It's a cornucopia of therapists out
there.
A
whole smorgasbord, a whole buffet, if you will, of different therapies you can try out to fix your fucking triggers.
Yes.
Man alive. Where are we? Okay.
7.
Number 7. Learn to be assertive and stand up for yourself. Again, focusing on self. The reason we're being assertive, the reason we're standing up for ourselves is to validate our own emotions, our own experience that we're going through, the reasoning for why we're doing something, to explain something, maybe help challenge someone's perception, but to understand at the core, at the root of it, again, we're still focused on self. Paying attention to what you want and need, while also understanding that other people have wants and needs, and maybe we can come meet in the middle somewhere. Like, that's being assertive. Getting your needs met while also understanding maybe they can't be met. And so then maybe I need to set a boundary and remove myself from that situation.
Well, the more assertive you are, the less excuses you have to make, or the less explaining you feel like you have to do. If I assert myself and let you know my boundary, that's it. Yep. I'm not going to explain it till I'm blue in the face. I refuse, because I don't need to do that.
Yeah. And I'll leave. I will remove myself. I'll remove myself.
Yep. Number 8, ask others for help. So I think of situations where I've had to make big decisions that affect other people. Like, so for example, planning a wedding, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was 24/25 by the time I got married. So I had to ask for help. But then what that led to for me in particular was still more people pleasing. I wanted to make sure the bridesmaids weren't too upset with how much the fucking dress cost, even if it wasn't the one that like all the things, right? Yeah, and again, back then, my thought process was that I was trying to make everybody happy aside from myself, even though it was my wedding. So asking for help in a sense of like, you've done this before, like, what are some suggestions? Make sense?
And also understanding that you're still, again, please go watch the TED Talk on judgment. We also have a podcast on judgment because we watched that TED Talk and did research. And to me, the best thing that came out of that was like, please understand when you're still asking friends and family for their opinions on something, you are still like soliciting judgment. Like you're still like, there's still judgment in that, even if you think your friend has your best interest at heart, and they maybe well do, but again, that's their opinion. That's coming from their view, their perception. So there's still going to be judgment there. Accept yourself. Your value is not determined by what you do for others. This can go to so many different areas, but like even like body image. Oh my gosh, body image. My body, the only thing that my body is meant for is to have me walk about on this planet, to be able to do what my soul wants to do. That is it. My body does not serve a purpose for other people. It's not meant for something for other people to look at and get pleasure from. That's not what this is about. My body is meant for my soul, and my soul is doing what my soul's work was meant to do. That's it. You are you. And like your birthright is that you are enough. Your birthright is that you are deserving of love and affection.
We've talked about in the past how sometimes it feels like as therapists, we do feel like the value is determined by like how much we're helping people, right? But ultimately, and we've discussed this, is that the ball's in their court. It's not in ours. I can give you all the tools that I possibly know under the sun, right? And then it's up to you to use those tools. But I think sometimes I can get stuck in my own head of like, am I even helping this person? Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything. But then I have to check myself of like, but I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, right? Like, I know that I am doing all that I can do at this point.
Well, like, and if their internalization of what they are understanding, what I'm saying isn't expressed, I can't attempt to change the way that I'm delivering information.
Yes.
So like that also, like, that's the thing that I say in the very beginning of when I'm like onboarding a client is at the end, I give my therapy spiel. And one of those things is like, you are one person of the 40 to 50 clients that I see. I'm one therapist. So when I'm asking you if something makes sense, I'm asking if it's registering for you. And if it's not, I need you to tell me. I have 4 other ways that I can explain something, but if you're not telling me that, I'm not going to change my flow. If that makes sense. Not if it makes sense. I know it makes sense.
Yes.
I don't even know why I said that. Anyways.
I think I'm just used to saying that.
Yes. Accepting yourself and understanding that there are so many things that you have to offer this world and yourself and your family and your loved ones. And that if you spent some time with yourself and really dug into that intuition, you would have the ability to start to see what some of those gifts and think what some of those things are, what some of those reasons are. So many people are like, well, I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm doing here. How much time have you spent with yourself?
Right.
How much time have you been with you alone in a room, focusing on you in that moment, in that exact moment, like your breathing, your mind, your like, how much time have you spent doing that? Because if you're so busy trying to people please other people, get your worth from what you can do or provide to other people, how will you ever know
You won't.
what your worth is?
Yep.
And that's like the whole center of what therapy is. As you understanding, loving, and accepting yourself exactly for where you're at in this journey of life, and then moving forward from that. And then the branches out, right? That's the whole purpose of this. So that's a whole fucking gag of this. Is for you to understand what are you here for?
Yep.
It's not going to come to you in a fucking bar with other people fucking doing what they want to do, trying to be like, oh, I'll go if you want to.
Yep.
Or like fucking running 82 reports because Bob asked you to, and you were like, okay, maybe he'll like me.
Yes. Number 10, be more honest about your feelings. If you don't want to do something, say that. If something is uncomfortable, say that. Like, nobody can read your mind. Doesn't matter how close they are to you. Nobody can read your mind. You have to openly express these things. And again, be assertive about them in order for people to have an understanding of where you're coming from.
Yeah. You know what I started doing with clients? And they're like, well, you know what I mean? I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know what you mean. Explain it further. I'm not just going to agree with you to agree. Not doing that.
Right.
No, it's not what I'm here for. It's not what I'm being paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Not your fucking hype man, your yes men. No.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? Explain it further.
Yes.
Explain your thought and your reasoning further. Help me understand how you arrived there.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah. You would not believe how many people are like,
I'm sure.
And I'm like, yeah, you're just saying that. You're just parroting something that somebody else said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if you believe that or you like that or
Sure.
you even understand that. So let's understand it together. Do not dwell on your past. You cannot change your past.
Nope.
And you cannot change the future. And that is a statement that I need you to understand. You thinking about the past cultivates depression, and you trying or attempting to change the future cultivates anxiety. That is why mindfulness is so important. That is why you being in this present moment, in this present day, understanding maybe what made today good, what am I looking forward to today, what do I want to accomplish today. Keyword is today,
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot change the other things. You can't.
Nope. Last but not least, put your fucking self first.
Yeah.
We will say this until we're blue in the face.
Till I'm blue.
Putting yourself first is not selfish. It is essential, because nobody else is going to put you at number one.
Self-care is not selfish. I will say this until I'm blue in the face, this thought process that when I was going through everything in my mind, I have a table. I know what I bring to this table. Being alone has really helped me understand what I bring to this table. I bring stability. I bring humor. I bring acceptance. I bring love. I bring compassion.
Mm-hmm.
I bring fun. I bring these things to the table. If you are not bringing anything to my table, you cannot sit with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not afraid to eat alone. I'm not. That's what working on myself and being alone has brought me.
Yep.
I am not afraid to be alone. You are not going to sit at my table and take from all of these things that I have worked so hard to define for myself and to understand and really embody and really validate for myself. You're not going to come take from them. This isn't a fucking buffet. We're not making plates here. I'm not a cafeteria.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So if you don't bring something to my table, please understand I will eat alone. Please understand that.
Well, and if you think you're going to sit with me and make me feel like shit for who I am, you're wrong.
No, if you're not bringing nothing to the table, get out. I will eat alone. I have no problem. No fucking for the rest of my goddamn life. I need you to understand that.
Yes.
For the rest of my life. Okay.
At the end of the day, like everything else, not everything else, but a lot of what we've talked about, right, is like people pleasing is ineffective as fuck. What is it doing? It's not doing anything for you, but stressing you the fuck out. So take a second, reevaluate the situation and be like, does this actually make me happy, or am I doing it to appease them? Am I doing it because I don't want them to be upset? That's not your fucking responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You are your responsibility.
I heard that. Another thing for you to reflect on, think about the last time that you went out of your comfort zone to do something for somebody else because you wanted them to like you for whatever reason. Like you wanted them to like you, wanted to be accepted, wanted
like
whatever.
Drugs. I'm kidding.
Like meth. Anyways.
It's a joke, people. It's a joke.
Like heroin last weekend. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Think about the last time that you did that. And now I want you to journal what that brought you. And what did you gain from that?
Honestly,
what did that bring you?
Don't people please your answer, right?
Well, and then like, how long did that last? Because maybe you did gain something from it, right? Maybe you did get some recognition or validation at work. How long did that last?
Mm-hmm.
How long did that last? Because you're sitting here putting all these eggs into other people's baskets, and those people leave. People leave.
Yep.
Things leave. Things end. Relationships end. If you're putting all of your baskets, all of your eggs into those baskets, and those people leave because as they do, that's what happens, then you are left with nothing. But what I'm saying when I give you that example of I'm not afraid to eat alone, I have my table. My eggs are at my table.
Yes.
You can have little bits and pieces, but like the nest is at the table with me. That's it.
Yep.
So if people leave, I understand that. That is okay. Because I chose to give some of that away not because I wanted something back, but because that's what I want to leave.
Yes.
That's what I want to give people. That is the impression I want to give off, because that's who at my core, who I want to be. but I'm in control of that. I have learned how to control that of like, that's what I want.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
It was a good one. Got a little fired up there. Ooh, I'm passionate about people living for them fucking selves and not
Yes.
other people. Ooh, I'm passionate
Yes.
about it. So I am at BEA_XO11. Steph is at SpookyFitMom13. We are at Rewriting Her Story Podcast on Instagram. If you feel that there are questions, concerns, comments that you would like to let us know about, we would love to hear them. rewritingherstorypodcast@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe. YouTube at Rewriting Her Story Podcast. We would love for you to like, share, subscribe, because also in the beginning of this video, there was something very funny that we all laughed at, and you won't know unless you watch the YouTube. Oh. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.